Matty, it's been a busy period over the last week. We'll start with Saturday's game against Altrincham, 0-0. What did you make of the team's performance?
I thought, again, the team performance was very good. Like, we use kind of three metrics to measure our performance in terms of chance creation, chance limitation, and our dominance within the game. And when you look at it, you look at the expected goals and everything, we were the better team on the day and we should have won the game. But if you don't show quality in key moments, then you can't win games of football. So I'm delighted with the clean sheet, and the lads deserve that because they've defended well all season. But we had to show more quality in them games, and we got into incredible areas. I think we got into the final third more than any other team in the league all season. So it shows how good the structure is and the patterns of play and the opportunities that we have to go and show that quality. But we didn't show it on the day, and we're a young group. We're the joint youngest group with Halifax in the league. So sometimes you get inconsistency, and a lot of the time you get inconsistency with young players. So we've just got to keep putting them in the positions, and hopefully the lads start to produce the goods, and you'll get purple patches, you'll get inconsistencies. And at the moment, I think we're a little bit inconsistent in the final third. But the good thing is we're inconsistent, but we're still 12th in the league. Yeah. So it's really positive.
And then moving on to Tuesday's game, the 3-1 with Dorking. There must be a lot to take away from that game.
Yeah, there is. We just did a debrief now in there, and listen, you'll get people that say I'm talking rubbish, but we should win the game. When you look at the stats again, we should win the game. And I think you hear their interview, even you hear their commentators at the time. Obviously, we hear it back when we watch the games back, and as you're saying, we just don't finish. We didn't finish on the day, and our finishing was poor. And we made an early error, which has made it an uphill battle, which again you get with young players, and we take responsibility as a management team. We've always said that if we concede from playing out, the positives will always outweigh the negatives. So there will always be times where you concede from playing out. But the way you combat that is then going and scoring 3, and you go and win the game 3-1. And we had opportunities again. You look at the expected goals, I think ours was 2.5, theirs was 1.5. So again, we've created the better chances, we've been the better team, the possession's higher, the final third entries are higher, everything's higher. But at the moment, we're in them game-defining moments, we're underachieving and underperforming. And like I say, we've got a young group. We don't go and spend fortunes on players. That's not the model. So you have to accept that at times you get inconsistencies. And like I say, we've just done a video there. I think I'll bore people with stats now, but we're joint second in the league for expected points. So Southend should be top, and then it's us and Gateshead that should be on 17 points. And that's a reflection of your expected goals against their expected goals for every game. And really, I'm saying we're underperforming. We should be second on a part-time basis with a quarter of the budget of everybody else, the quarter of the contact time. That's unbelievable from the players to be performing to that level. Like I say, team performance and individual performance are two different things. When we talk about the team, it's the three metrics again of chance creation, chance limitation, and your control of the game. And in every game this season, we've been the better team. The problem is, at the moment, we're just getting them inconsistencies, and we're underperforming in their moments. And our expected goals is 17.6, I think it is. We've only scored 11. It's actually hard in football to underachieve in terms of your expected goals, because you score goals out of nothing. You look at Tav's volley, that doesn't even appear on the chart. So we're underperforming by probably 40% in them moments. And if we can even just up that by 10 or 20%, you think we're underperforming and we're 12th in the league. For Wealdstone, really, if you said it at the start of the season, you'd say that Wealdstone have to overachieve by 40% to stay in this league. I don't think anybody would argue with that. We're underachieving and we're still 12th. So there's a hell of a lot that the lads are doing well, and there's a hell of a lot that as a football club we should be proud of. But on the day, we've kind of given them a goal, and we've kind of a little bit rabbit in the headlights, but we still play pretty well. That's the one thing I'll say with the group. Even when things go against us, we still play the same way, and there's a lot to be said for that. And what that will do, people will say, oh, but it doesn't matter about how you're playing, it's about the outcome. Well, I'll put it like this. If we stop playing well, and we're underachieving by 40%, where are we going to end up? So if we stop creating chances, where are we going to be? So it's so important that we keep playing well. It's the biggest asset we have as a football club, is our structure and the way we play, and it will always come good over a long period of time. I've got no doubt about that. We're sat in 12th, we should be sat a hell of a lot higher, but there's a lot more to be positive about than be negative about.
Well, I said to Stu on Saturday, is it now just about trusting the process and keeping the morals there?
Yeah, and that's why we've done the video with the lads, because sometimes when, listen, in football you get outcome-based people that it's very easy to kind of change your opinion like the wind. If you don't win, you were rubbish. If you won, you were brilliant. Football don't work like that. If you want long-term success, it doesn't work like that, especially with a young group. If you've got the biggest budget in the league, you expect a level of entitlement in terms of performances and in game-defining moments. We don't have that. We're entitled to nothing in this league. What we're entitled to is probably competitiveness, and we get more than that every single game. Even the other day, we were very competitive in the game. What we need to do is work with the lads and show faith in the lads, like trust in the process. The process is the biggest asset we have at this football club. It's the thing that holds us in good stead. It's the thing that when we're losing games, we know we'll come out the other side. When you have no process, when you change, just because, if we change what we did because we lost, we'll just go like that. We'll just slide all the way to the bottom and we'll never be seen in this league again. When you have a good process and all of these stats are weighing up and you have that mindset, you'll always come out the other side. And we're talking about coming out the other side and we're 12th. Yeah. We should be bottom and talking about coming out the other side of bad form. So, listen, like I say, you have to trust the process because it's working and it's our greatest asset. So if we go away from the process, we haven't got a lot left. So we have to.
And just a quick one. Early on in the game, Taron went off with an injury. Tav missed the game as well. Is there any update on both their situations?
No, Taron's getting assessed at the moment. Tav got an MRI, so we're just waiting for the report back on that. So that obviously gives a good, a very clear guidelines on how long he'll be. But yeah, other than that, like I say, listen, we got Max missing as well, which is a huge miss, and hopefully there's a resolution with that soon. Because he's a huge player for us. At the end of the day, you look at Tav and Max, if you said at the start of the season who's going to contribute most in the final third, you say them two players. Now we don't really, like Stu don't mention it the other day, every other management team would mention how many players they've got missing. We've probably got our two most influential players in the final third missing, and we still believe we can achieve something. So, like I say, there's so many positives and there's so many good things, but sometimes you've got to appreciate what the players are doing rather than looking at what they're not doing.
Yeah. And then finally, Kyle Smith's come in. He's played 90 minutes, one man of the match. How have you assessed his two performances?
He's done really well. We've watched a lot of Millwall, so we know what Abdul and Kyle and them boys can do. So he's come in and adapted really, really well. I think there's more in the tank. I actually think there's a lot more in the tank from him because you haven't really seen his crossing as much yet, and when he plays against certain shapes that will come into it a little bit more. At the moment he's been man for man, so it's been hard to get that yard and cross it, but he's got unbelievable quality when he does cross it. And he gets in on the back post. You see his chance the other day, which obviously I think it took a little bit of a bobble when he come onto it, but he'll score goals for us as well because he'll get in on the back post because he's very athletic. So all the loan lads have done really well. If I'm being honest, all the players have done well on the whole. It's more just in them game-defining moments, can we be a little bit better? Because if we can, the stats would say we'd be in a title race, we'd be second in the league. Now listen, do I think we're going to get in a title race? No, of course I don't. But I still think we can have a really, really successful season and surprise a lot of people if we can improve it. If we don't, we'll probably end up staying in the league and we pat each other on the back and say it's an unbelievable achievement. But I do believe this group's got a little bit more in the tank, and I think we're probably yet to see it yet, but I think it's there and hopefully it can come out soon.
Brilliant. Well, cheers for your time,
appreciate
mate.
it, top man.